Good evening and welcome to the Nighttime Heat, right here on Prom FM 105.5 and also being relayed by Radio Get Geman, that is in Nimba County, Radio Quatiket in Bon County, and of course, Radio Wolegisit in Lofa County. We are streaming live on Prom FM Moravia 105.5 and also streaming live on our YouTube and our Facebook page. Our YouTube channel is the Nighttime Heat. That is just tap Nighttime Heat, the three words, and of course, going to subscribe and you follow the show. You watch the show, you enjoy the show. Also, we are streaming live on our Facebook page. That is the Nighttime Heat Facebook page. Just go to where they have the search, and of course, you tap Nighttime Heat, and after which you go to follow the show and share the show. We wanted to share the show tonight. Tonight promises to be very, very interesting, very, very intriguing. We wanted to share the show so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners can also be in the loop. They all can follow and, of course, get to know as to what's happening tonight on the Nighttime Heat. Saba George is my name. I'm still expecting my panelists. I know Moses Sand will join us later on. I'm still expecting Josh Kennedy, who's trying to walk in now. And as soon as he comes in, along with Moses, we'll begin our discussion. I'm sure tonight we'll be looking at Liberia's drugs war. Just yesterday, as part of the government's fight against this menace, the government has banned shisha. Is that how they call it? Okay, the government has banned it. There are some reactions, and that have been trending on social media. Also, we'll be looking at demolitions of ghettos. We saw, and of course, some videos we have to also show you. We saw, a group of at-risk youths. I don't like to call them Zokos because that name is very demeaning. And then, in fact, I frown on people who call them that name. It's not a name. They are at-risk youths. That's the appropriate way to address them. I saw the bulk of them being placed in vehicles and being taken to some centers. We will show that videos to you, and of course, going to talk about that as well. And also the report that Rickman role in the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. The managers there, the directors, and some of his deputies are local heads. What's happening? How does that affect our fight against drugs and other narcotic substances? Well, tonight, you heard earlier today that the Liberia National Police, in fact, will be carrying out the court order, that is tomorrow, evicting the Congress for Democratic Change. I understand that the Congress would have held a press conference this evening. Well, I don't know whether that was held or not. We'll talk about that also. Well, my guests would include Representative Mema Briggs. I know she will join us online, Mr. Oliver. We say he's from Dubai or the UAE. So Tiawanto, he's supposed to join us as well. Mr. David Cody will be joining us. And of course, Mr. Martin Singbe Tokpa will also join us. He's a very strong, insider of the ruling establishment. He will also join us tonight. But in the meantime, before we come back, let me try to introduce my good friend and brother, Josh. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm okay. I'm great. I hope you're okay too.
Yes, I'm okay. And how you been spending the Friday? I know you went to work.
Yes, I just returned from work and I nearly missed this time, but I mean, it's a responsibility.
Yes, surely it is. And let me thank you and Moses for always being around to ensure that the Nighttime Heat sails effectively. Thank you. And Moses will be joining us very shortly. But let's try to play this. Let's try to what's been trending on your mind? First, let me ask you.
First of all, let me clap for Madam Colley and Madam Giddings were here the other time on the air and appealing to them. The two women that funded the no say no to drugs movement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting good information that they reconcile their differences. As a matter of fact, I saw them on Facebook hugging and shaking each other's hand.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a breakthrough because they are leading the civil movement of Liberia against drugs. So we wholeheartedly appreciate them. And I'm also getting another breaking news from the MCC.
Okay.
The Millennium Challenge account. I'm getting some information that Liberia has finally been admitted and to the compact, and I think we made. You can remember, if you can remember, the other time the board was meeting, and we announced here that the board was meeting on Liberia and other countries. So right now, it's a big news. The financial amount is now announced here. We don't know how much we'll be getting, but the fact is, we've moved ahead from our last stage. We've moved in front.
Okay.
It's a breaking news. It's a good news for Liberia. And from Japan, I'm also hearing that the president is still there meeting some senior people. I saw him meeting the city mayor of Tokyo and other people. I think they're trying to form sisterly relationship with that of Monrovia to see how they can help improve our city environment. Okay. So a lot of other things, good things that we've been hearing about.
Okay. So, yeah. Well, I think that's good news, especially when it has to do with the compact. Yeah. Critics have been saying that Sierra Leone, received theirs. They were admitted, and of course they received theirs, and Liberia is still struggling to. But with the latest, I think we are on course, and it shows that we are doing extremely well as a country. But back home, let me read this press statement quickly. Liberian government bans shisha use in all public and private settings, citing health concerns. The government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Health, has announced an immediate ban on the use of shisha in all public and private settings, including bars, drinking spots, and residences. Violators of the directive will face immediate penalties, which may include arrests, revocation of business licenses, and confiscation of related products. Additionally, the use of tramadol is now strictly restricted to licensed hospital environments and must be administered under professional medical supervision. This decision comes in response to the growing drug pandemic and to the ongoing national public health emergency. The Ministry of Health, a moratorium on the sale and the distribution of both tramadol and shisha will take effect nationwide starting tomorrow. That's today, August 22nd, 2025. Okay, so that's it. The government has banned the use of shisha, I call it, and also tramadol. Again, it's part of the government's effort to fight this whole drug war, which is wiping out our youthful population. So shortly, we want to hear from you. I know you followed online, you read it, you listened to radio stations. What is your take? Do you think it's a good move by the government? Is it impressive that the government has banned the use of shisha? Do you feel comfortable with that? And how do you think we all can help for the ban to come to, for the ban to take effect? Because there could be some individuals, especially business people, scrupulous, who may likely still want to hide the shisha somewhere in the corner and still encourage people to go and take it. So how do you think we can strengthen our enforcement mechanism to ensure that this ban it's brought into full force. So shortly we'll be hearing from you. But let me hear from you, George. When you heard about the banning of the shisha and tramadol, what did come to your mind?
It's a good move. I think these are some of the political support that the frontline fighters of these narcotic products want from the government. And I welcome it. I want the government, just that, if you talk about just, ban the sales and use, we should look at the import, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we should ban the import, the sales and use of such products. Now, where the problem is that they got some of the people who already imported on their shelf, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do with those things? Are you going to go after them? Because we want to. I read a former speaker, Kofa's post today regarding that, and he welcomed the statement, and he got some points in his post when he said, "Oh, the U.S. started this thing the same way and they lose because they push people to go to the black market. You don't want to do things in a way that those dealers will go to the black market to sell what they already have in the country. So you need to put plans into place, strategies into place to ensure, first of all, you map those stores, those businesses that brought those things.
Okay.
Two things can be done. Either you pick it up from them, pay for it, or, while you're trying to ban it, or you can reach to some arrangement where they won't lose 100% because there was no such ban on it. So the importer hit peacefully. There was no law banning it. So right now you're taking a step. We want to be balanced as much as we can, so that there will be this kind of coordination between those people. On the issue of tramadol, the Liberia Medical Medicine and Pharmacy Board needs to put their feet on the ground to make sure that those drugstores, those licensed business area drugstores that got these things, to make sure that you map them, you know what's out there. Then before now the prescription, ensure that it's going to prescription before someone can purchase those things. But we shouldn't have made a pronouncement and go sit down waiting for people to regulate themselves. It'll be very difficult. We'll have to regulate them and assist them. Yeah.
Well, I was just scanning through the social media, and let me just read what I have. Yes, but I think you made a point. We'll be hearing from the public. What do you think about the ban on shisha and tramadol? Do you think it's just a political statement made by the government? If not, how do you think we can enforce this ban on the two items? But I was just reading through this, and of course it's from Sekou Carrasco Damaro, and of course you said they should serve as a serious caution to Gregory Coleman. Please take note that any violence resulting in the death of any Liberian tomorrow will be your responsibility. We advise that you refrain from being manipulated, as there will be repercussions. This issue is currently before the court, yet you have sent a notification to the CDC regarding an eviction that we believe is unlawful. These are official documents from the St. George verifying the CDC's compliance in a crucial. It is crucial, rather, that you allow the legal procedure to take its course, as the CDC will oppose your illicit actions tomorrow. So I think the government needs to do something, because prior to coming on, I heard that the CDC was planning a major press conference, and we hope we can play the RG recording today. We'll play that very, very shortly. The RG announced that they'll be affecting the court's order tomorrow, but it seems that the CDC will be pushing back on that, and that may likely result into violence. We're hoping that something can be done this evening or tonight, so that we wouldn't yet about any violence. We don't think we are. But on the issue of the shisha again, let's hear from you. 0778 460 793. Again, 0778 460 793. Or better still, you can call the Lone Star line 0886 540 987. Again, 0886 540 987 or 0778 460-793. That's the number to call, and you are live right here on the Nighttime Heat. Let's hear from you. Your name and where you calling from?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you calling from?
I managed to move calling from the Power College.
Let's hear from you, sir.
First of all, let me commend the government for
Hello, you have to leave the noise. What kind of money is that? You can't be calling and then at the same time you and your children, you're wrestling on what's happening. You're tossing over the phone. 0778460-793, or is it that the phone is not hers?
The banana pan and season.
0778460-793. That's the number to call. Again, 0778460-793, or better still 086-540-987. Good evening.
Good evening, people of Sabah.
Let's hear from you quickly on the issue of banning the shisha.
This is Emmanuel David, and I join you from the State of West Point. People of Sabah, you see, sometimes if you are making an impromptu decision, if you are not careful, even on your personal life, it will lead you to something that you might not be able to get from others so easy. And I think it is why the government is proceeding. They want to create a confusion between them and business people. I think what should be said as a ban towards the whole shisha issue is that they should work along with the Ministry of Commerce. Those ones that are already in country, those stocks that they get on record, I think they should give these business people the time for them to sell the illegal stock, because they are the same Ministry of Commerce that issue, lesson or RPD to the various people to bring in this thing. So the one that is currently here, they need to give the people the space, necessarily, then renewal for new consignment, they can deny it, then the president can issue executive order so that the whole thing we can cut down. And another one I want to close on quickly is the issue of the alcohol. The local alcohol company that is producing alcohol, like Reco and Pinion, that selling liquor for $50, I think government need to increase their tariff so that they will sell it in a price that even underage person cannot afford to buy. I think it will help to kill the entire fight against drugs. Thank you for this is my contribution to your show.
Okay, many thanks. 0778460-793. That's the number to call. Again, 0778460-793. That's the number to call, or better still, 0886-540-987. We want to hear from you. What is your take on the issue of banning shisha and tramadol? Do you think it's timely? Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. George.
Let's hear from you quickly.
Let me say good evening to your colleague in studio.
Okay.
My name is Ali Padikome, me picking family. I call from around the car. You know, Mr. George, let me commend the government. Our some of all, we are saying the fight against drugs, it should be everybody's business. And as long as everybody's business, the action from the citizen, I think the government trying to listen to her citizens. This is why they are coming on with serious action. And we are not just saying they must come up with pre-release. We want to see the implementation of it, because, like, bro, we are coming up with a whole lot of pre-releases from the government, but we are not seeing action. But when it comes to the fight against drugs, because we, the citizens, we ourselves, we are taking the task into our hands. So I think the way the government seeing it, and we are calling on them. Please, we want begging for them to see our best. If we can get rid of drugs, at least we must minimize it. Because for me, if I even see shisha, if somebody tells me, I want her land to call the government attention to tell them that they get shisha in a particular hall. The other way now we have to get rid of drugs, as you will get rid of shisha and tramadol in the country. Because example, Senate Street, coming down Senate Street, all the late children standing to that place, Mr. George. So tramadol, all kinds of tablets, like you necessarily want to make people high. And someone will know them. But we just want at least on a hard land to make sure as soon as we see it, we call government attention, the government can erase that particular place. At least let the place be decent for us. Thank you very much for following the program.
Okay, many thanks. Really appreciate your point you made. 0778-460-793. Again, 0778-460-793. Or better still, 0886-540-987. We want to hear from you concerning the ban on shisha and tramadol. Where do you stand? You see, it's just a political statement made by the government. You think it was timely? You think it's something that is impressive that the government has come up with such a decision, or you think it's political? If so, how do you think that we enforce this ban on C-Shard and Tramadol? Again, the numbers to call 0778 460 793, 0778 460 793, or better still 0886 540 987. Again, 0886 540 987. That's the number to call and to alive on the nighttime heat. Our guest will be joining us, that is at Isedi, and of course we'll be talking more about trending issues. Liberia drugs war that's ongoing. We got some videos where the at-risk youth, a huge number of them were taken to somewhere in Johnsonville. Is that home safe? Is it protected? Do they have the personnel, the nurses to really rehabilitate those people? Do they have the professional? Those are things we'll be talking about. Not just grabbing them or taking them and putting in vehicles and trucks or pickups or whatever it is, and you take them to a home. Are they going for rehabilitation? That's the major question we'll be talking about. 0778 460 793. But they've banned C-Shard, they banned Tramadol. Where do you stand? Are you in support, or do you think the decision was very impulsive? Let's hear from you quickly. 0778 460 793. You've been listening to some of the callers, George.
Yeah.
Let's take this caller quickly. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. George.
Yes, sir. I'm okay. Let's hear from you. What do you think about the government's ban on Tramadol and C-Shard?
Well, C-Shard is a very bad drug. For my take, anywhere I see somebody selling C-Shard, I'm going to make alarm, and everybody going to know in my community, because this drugs, they fighting this drug, and it can be fight. So now that the government coming with the kind of reinforcement, we're ready to embrace it, because our brothers and sisters are getting damaged in the country, actually.
Okay, many thanks. He supports the decision. 0778 460 793. That's the number to call. Again, 0778 460 793. Where do you stand? Government ban C-Shard and of course Tramadol. Are you in support, or do you think it's a decision that was very impulsive? The government made a decision for political reason. Or do you think the government, if so, you are in support? How do we, as a people, as a country, enforce that Tramadol and C-Shard are not used by our people? 0778 460 793. Again, 0778 460 793. Or better still, 0886 540 987. If you're in the diaspora and of course are watching by YouTube, you can put your calls on 0886 540 987. The number is right there on the screen. You listen to the few of the callers. Well, what do you think?
Especially man picking. He made a very salient suggestion that the government should have headlines.
Okay.
Headlines to publicize, so that in case they see anywhere any of these items or products or drugs items, they can be able to call, because it is necessary. But what we want the government to do, as one of the callers supported our position, is that people were giving RPDs to import C-Shard products. People were giving clearances or RPDs to import Tramadols and other. So those sector institutions that are responsible to what we call to check on these institutions that are imported, to check on drugstores like Brother Pharmacy Bowl and Comrades and other institutions. They should be able to work with drugstores, hospitals, those community clinics and other things to make sure that before those things can be issued to anybody, they got that approval.
Okay.
Before CSHA issue, they can make the importers whosoever, because the issue is you could ban the use if you don't ban the import.
Okay.
What policy will you use now?
Okay, let's try to welcome Moses. Moses just joined us. Moses Sandy. Moses, welcome to the program quickly.
Moses, you're back.
Thank you. Thank you, Sova. George, it's good connecting with you as well. It's a pleasure to be with you guys. Man, look, my schedule today is very crazy. You know, one presentation to another. I'm going to be here for a limited time, and I have to go and talk to people again. So it's a tremendous sacrifice. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, welcome, Moses, and thank you for always making your way on this program. We're just talking about the ban. Moses, I'm sure you might have seen on our social media, while in the US, the government has banned the use of shisha and tramadol. What came to your mind when you saw the press statement?
I am giggling because first, let me come from the strength perspective. It's commendable. It's commendable that the government is demonstrating interest in containing a problem that has taken over the country. So let's commend the government on that. Let me provide some education. But before I delve into that, let me quickly let people know who I am. A lot of people don't know when they hear the name Moses Sandy. The only thing to know that this guy is a media person. I want people to know that besides being a journalist, I'm a career, social worker in the United States. I have a master's in social work. I went to one of the best schools of social work in the United States in Philadelphia, Temple University. I have over 19 years clinical experience. I have functioned at various levels: program management, monitoring, evaluation, working with people who struggle with substance use. I do this on a consistent basis. So I want people to know. Now let's come to the main issue. What we currently see happening in the country, we have a crisis that has become a significant issue for the government. Unfortunately, we do not have the resources. Our political leaders are unprepared, and this did not come as a surprise, but they have not been able to put in place the mechanism. But before I can even talk about the tramadol, the opioids, and others, look. So for example, you see people rounding people up and putting them, on buses and taking them to police station, breaking homes, and there's increased arrest of substance users, alleged drug addicts. That doesn't solve the problem. Let me tell you, what we have, it takes training, education. You put all these people on the buses to carry them to one little community and warehousing. Do you have what it takes? Do you have people with training? Do you have people like us that know how to work with them? Do you have psychiatrists? You don't. Do you have professional clinical social workers? You don't. Do you have medication to treat them? You don't. The agency entrusted with the authority to enforce the laws of the country, the agency is equipped, underfunded. So you put all these people together, that doesn't solve the problem. What we have, you cannot criminalize this problem. It is good to arrest people who are selling, to break that chain, but the guys we consider the victims, the users, you cannot criminalize them. What you need is what? Treatment. You can't put people in one little house after one or 2 days and you say you're graduating them. No. That is behavior modification. This is a disease. Addiction is a disease. It's a brain disease. So to heal that, you cannot be punitive, and that's what we see happening. Now let's come back to the recent ban. The people talk about tramadol. Many of you don't know what tramadol is. Tramadol is a painkiller. It's an opioid. An opioid is a medication that is used, is legally prescribed to treat people who struggle with severe pain. Take, for example, if someone goes through surgery. As part of the treatment process, medical doctor can legally prescribe for you tramadol. This medication is very addictive. The longer you stay on it, you become hooked. You become dependent. And if you don't have it, you go through what we call a terrible withdrawal. You start having diarrhea, you start having body aches, and you can literally die if it is not in your system. Another one, besides the tramadol, you have what we call the Percocet. It's another painkiller. You have morphine, you have oxycodone, you have fentanyl. All these medications are legally prescribed by medical doctors. They become an issue when people take in more. So banning the tramadol, the question I would like to ask the Liberian government, now you ban tramadol. Then what happens? Are you also going to ban what? Percocet? The other painkiller? Will you also ban the oxycodone? Will you also ban the fentanyl? What you need to do is to control how these medications are being prescribed. Monitor. In the United States here, if a medical doctor prescribes more than needed, and if that prescription is being used for the unintended person, that medical doctor can lose his or her license. That's how it works. And these pills are prescribed with serious control because they know they are very, very addictive. They can be abused. Now, when people don't have the prescribed medication, the tramadol, the Percocet, you know what they tend to suffer? They tend to heroin, the illegal drugs. Heroin performs the same function. Heroin is a painkiller. It can be abused. If you go through surgery, you don't have money for prescribed medication like tramadol, you can take heroin. It numbs the pain. So if you say you don't want tramadol in the country, so guys, you know what they're going to tend to? Heroin. And the next question, do you have the mechanism? Do you have the mechanism to control this? You don't. Okay. Let me stop there.
Yeah, Mr. Sandy,
yeah.
They didn't ban tramadol. They say the condition, the statement, they say without medical prescription, without doctor's prescription, nobody should be allowed to just walk in the drugstore and buy it on the counter.
Okay.
So before you buy those drugs, you should have you should have doctor's prescription.
Okay.
So it means that no drugstore should sell it to anyone until doctor prescribes.
Okay.
Only the C-shot that they ban, it says C-shot is banned. So that's a real sorry. Yeah.
So,
all right. So we have to welcome our guests. Yeah. Our guest Ben backstage. We have to welcome them quickly so that we'll get into the discussion tonight. We have Mr. Martin Simbe Topa. Mr. Topa is the he's what, the chairman?
He's the coordinator council of the Unity Party.
Okay, coordinator council. Coordinator council. Okay.
Yeah, by again.
Yes, I think his internet is trying to trouble him. We have Mr. David Cody online, and of course, Wanto Tiawanto also just came to Liberia. He's driving from the airport. Welcome home, Wanto. Wanto Tiawanto is on, and
he's going to protest.
Representative Small Kolu Molba also is on. You can welcome our guest quickly.
welcome guests. We are not new to one another. I want to welcome you all to this wonderful
Glad
discussion.
to be in the fight against drug.
Yeah, it is.
And because it is
Someone is
a
talking-
presidential mandate,
Someone is
it
talking
becomes
at
our
the back.
responsibility. Also,
Someone
for
is
the
talking at the
LTPRC,
back.
Please,
we are fully
mute
responsible
that
to
person,
ensure
please.
that internal discipline are internal
Rather
discipline.
mute.
So it becomes our responsibility to keep them at this transit center.
You're listening
But
to
mandate
the
of committee
nighttime
being
heat.
established by the
Kindly
president
mute
mandate,
the person.
to work collaboratively with them and then provide our services as it relates to our constitutional
Just,
mandate.
let's take a break. Let's take a
We
break.
had the total
Let's take a
of
break.
117
We can have,
persons.
some
arriving.
voice just come. Welcome back to the nighttime heat. We sincerely apologize for that interruption. We had to take a break so as to sort it out. But let's welcome all of our guests who are on already. Our guests are on. Let's try to welcome them. Representative Smoke Molba, welcome to the program. Mr. Martin Tupa, welcome to the program. Mr. David Corey, welcome to the program. And the rest of you, want to welcome all of you to the program. Let's hear your opening comment quickly.
Well, if I may start, let me say thank you very much once again for being here. I'm always glad to be here. And I want to say good evening to all of my friends who are on the panel tonight. And let's have a fine discussion.
Hey, somebody kind of mute
Someone
from the
mute.
end.
Someone mute.
You got something on. Kind of mute from the end.
Honorable, please check.
Yeah,
Mute.
please check. Our guests, I know you have something on from the end.
No,
Okay.
nothing. Yeah, nothing so much.
Okay, let's welcome you, Representative Molba. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. I would like to say good evening to everyone, and I hope we have a very fruitful discussion and vote of politics, so that our people out there can listen and get some of what we have to offer to them. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for joining us. Mr. Wanto, welcome to the program. Okay, he gone off again. Okay, let's welcome Mr. Oliver Wisa. Mr. Wisa, welcome to the program.
It's not on. I'm asking.
Mr. Wisa is off. Seems that he's off. Let's welcome Mr. Corey. Did we welcome you?
Yeah, thank you. I said thank you for the invitation once again. And I'm always happy to be here. And I also say good evening to all of my good friends on the panel tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So, Martin Topa, welcome to the program. Mr. Toba, kindly unmute. Mr. Toba, you are muted. Okay, it seems like he's not getting us. Let's try to first upload this video, the video that has to do with the first. Okay, we'll upload a video, but let's hear from each of you your opening comment as it relates to the banning of shisha. I'm sure you heard about that yesterday. The government has come up to ban shisha. What do you think? Do you see it as a political decision? Is it an impressive one? And if so, how do we enforce it? Let's hear from you first, Representative Sumu Molba.
Oh, all right. I think the banning of shisha is something very important, and I think it's good to the betterment of fighting drugs, because I sometimes drug is not just about the bigger one like the kush and the other stuff that they have in the market. I think we should first of all start with the shisha, the marijuana, whatsoever, because if anyone get addicted to it, then it's like you will get to the advanced stage where you will be able to take kush. So I think the step by the government to ban shisha, I support it. But then what I look at is that what is political, because sometimes we look at I listen to one quarter making mention of the commerce ministry, people throw goods in, but I think anything that affects society should be considered non-involved. So the step from the government is very important. And I would like to say that CISA is very harmful because it has some chemical substance like nitric oxide, it have carbon dioxide, it have tar, it have the phenolic compound. There are so many chemicals, harmful chemicals, that I think is necessary that the bounce shop. Thank you.
What about you, Honorable Koti? Honorable Koti?
Yeah. Well, thank you. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Am I on?
Go ahead, sir.
Hello? Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't think there's anybody in this country who is going to go against the banning of shisha. Just about a month ago, I invited one Dr. Tarawari on my program at LBC to discuss shisha. And what he said on my show shocked me and feared me. I was very afraid for our children or those who are taking it. So banning shisha, I think, is a very good idea by the government, and nobody, I think, is going to go against that. No. And I'm very glad about the clarification made by Mr. Kennedy. And I want to thank you, Mr. Sandy, for the education you gave on this entire process. But what I was about to say is exactly what Mr. Kennedy said. The government did not ban, how you call the thing? Totally. Yeah. That's all right. They were restricting it. In fact, like any other drug, you don't have to do the OTC type. Just go and buy drugs to take. If you're apart from tramadol or whatever the case is, take for example, you are having some feverish feeling. You feel feverish, and you just go to the drugstore and ask for malaria tablet. And it's well known. Doctors will tell you that typhoid and malaria have the same symptoms. They have the same signs and symptoms. And when you feel feverish, you just walk to the drugstore and buy malaria tablets. Well, you may think you are treating malaria, but you're actually harming yourself, because the typhoid is what you're supposed to be treating. Instead of that, you're taking the wrong medicine for the wrong thing, and your liver or intestine will be destroyed. So apart from the tramadol, any drug for that matter, it should be prescribed by a medical doctor. Don't just walk and buy. So I want to congratulate the government. That's a good idea to ban shisha. It's very dangerous. Thank you.
Okay, so
is
Martin back? Okay, Martin is asking return. So let's try to play this video of some younger people, the risky youth, then taken to some centers by the government. Let's try to play the video quickly. We're trying to. Okay. You saw in the video there a group of at-risk youth being taken to a center, we understand, somewhere around Johnsonville, and that followed the demolition of some ghettos. let's begin with you, Representative Mulba. Do you think, as a country, as a people, we are on track, we are on course with the whole fight against drugs and other narcotic substances? Are we on course or not?
I would say that although the fight itself is a robust one, but we have to be very careful on how we go about the process, because what I noticed just this few days, I saw people moving on the young people, and remember, they are all Liberians, so we have to be very careful how we go about it. And even with that, the law, the Constitution also back them, like Article 16 and Article 20 of our Constitution talk about non-interference with individual property, because they have right with their family, also whatsoever. It should be done in line, in coherence with the Constitution, to that of the rule of law. So if we get young people together, it's a fun thing with the issue of the center. But then my issue is this: whatsoever they will be taking them, the first thing they need to do, the process of rehabilitation is not just short time; it's a long time process. They have to be rehabilitated from one stage to another. Then the final thing is, right after where you are taking them, when they are changed, what happened next? What happened next? Whether they have job to give them, to keep them busy, whether you can do an arrangement with the agricultural sector where we have the different farms, we can assign those young people at least the end of the month, where the lawmaker can cut part of portion of their pay, from the speaker to the Senate Pro Tem, everyone can cut portion of their pay, including the president, so that those young people that we are putting aside for the process of rehabilitation can come back into society. And they should not be boring. They should have something to do. But if we cannot do that, I think it's a waste of effort, it's a waste of time, and we all need to look at it. Thank you.
Okay, we all need to look at it. It's a, let's hear from you, Mr. David Cody. You saw today that some, in fact, it started a few days ago, but I saw a video yesterday with some group of at-risk youth being taken to centers somewhere around the Johnsonville community. We don't know whether those centers are well secured, what are safe, but do you think we are on a good start, especially with the breaking down of ghettos as well?
Yes, I agree with that, and I also want to agree with the representative. Mr. Sandy mentioned a similar thing a few weeks ago, if not months ago. If I hear Mr. Kennedy, we're on the same thing. When we're talking about Darius Dillon's school or this graduation thing, this isn't a quick fix. It's not something you do overnight. So I couldn't agree more with the representative. I think he's right. Where they are taking these people now, after they take them there, what next? That's the question. It's almost like somebody grabbing people from the street, taking them to a school, say we're taking them to a go-go school. After 1 or 2 months, you graduate. Graduate them where? How? To go back where? So this is other graduation, I don't understand it. While we appreciate their efforts, but the other graduation, I don't understand it. So I actually agree with that with him. There must be a plan. Like in the United States, I didn't stay in America for long, but in a short time I stayed there. I saw a lot of things. When these people go to jail or to any rehabilitation camp or whatever, they will be trained there so that when they come out, they don't go back to the same old habit. At least they will be mechanics, they will be different. So I think it should be practiced here. And the representative just mentioned something. I'm surprised to hear him saying that. It was a very, very good comment about the cutting of salaries from representatives and senators and even the president. This has to be done. I'm sorry that my good friend and sister didn't understand what I was saying last night, and she jumped on my back when I was talking about this vehicle issue. I was only making a suggestion. There's no need for a representative or a senator to receive 2 cars in 6 months. You're talking about millions of dollars. I was only suggesting there could be 1 for 6 years, and the balance 4 million plus could be given to the DA. I think it's a fine suggestion. If it was not taking a good fit, well, my sister, Madam Briggs, I'm sorry, but that's how I look at it. We should pay more attention now to the youth, to this drug fighting issue. Thank you.
Okay. Now I know I will soon go to Moses and George, but let me hear Representative Mulba on days. You listen to David Cody, Mr. Cody, former lawmaker. He said there should be there's a need for all of you in the legislature, not allowing yourself to not taking 2 cars every 6 years or 3 cars every 9 years. He said there's a need to do a court so that part of that money can also be used for the fight against the drugs that we're talking about. Do you hold that view, or you differ with him?
Yeah, let me just say this with the issue of the fight against drugs to that of Representative Salary. Remember that we have 3 branches of government, which is the executive, the House of Legislature, to that of judiciary. So when you have the budget is in the tune of this year budget is in the tune of $818 million, almost $1 billion. And when you see the percentage rating of the budget, you find out that we have 5% allocated to the House of Legislature. But remember now, when you hear the salary of the lawmaker, the salary of the House of Legislature is not just bounding upon the lawmaker. You have other staffers. You have people from Center Administration with the code 211101, right? And those people from there also get paid. We have example like 1,500, right? Staffers from Center Administration, just from the House of Legislature. Then we also have our personal staffers, elected official personal staffers. We each have 16. When you multiply that plus their salary, that's a huge amount, right? But then we cannot say we will not give them jobs. They are all Liberians. Then to the speaker, my difference with the House of Legislature is this: what people may not understand because of the issue of the budget. You find that there is an elite within the House of Legislature that we need to get away with, because certain people just take huge money. Like for example, the Senate Pro Tem and the Speaker down to the Deputy Speaker. They have a budget on allotment of goods and services under the Code 22 of the budget of the 2025 budget. Then the House itself, the House of Representatives, have goods and services under that code. So you find out there you have a portion of money that's been allotted to them. I hope you're getting the concept. So if you have a Senate Pro Tem who receives every month 16,000 towards goods and service, likewise, you have the Senate, the House of Senate, who also receive $5 million every year. Likewise, the House of Representatives receives $6 million plus every year. Then the Deputy Speaker office, the Speaker office call for more money. I think it's wrong. You need to desist from it. When you have goods and service for the House of Representatives, it should be a lump sum something. Let the Speaker, the Deputy, everybody benefit from it, not just the individual office. I consider that waste of money, right? That's the first thing. Another aspect of it is the salary. How much we make. Let's get the concept of it. How much we make as lawmakers. We make $8,800. When you take $2,000 remitted from there, according to that of NASCAR, we receive just $6,000, some in Liberty and other in US. So with that amount, the amount of people we deal with every day, just in 1 week, you will not have that money in your hand. We are the people deputy. That's some of the issue we go through. But yet, notwithstanding, there are portions in the budget. When you look at the entire budget, you find out that not just salary carry the huge amount, because if we're going to break the budget down into percentage, you find out that the House have 5% for legislature, we have 2.6% for judiciary, and 92.4% go to executive. The issue, let's take, for example, internal affairs, the People Center area. Internal affairs received $26 million this budget year. So what become of that amount? Health Ministry received a huge portion, about $17 million. Ministry received $195 million. So the budget is with the people. But how are our people getting it? How are they reaching this amount to them? So there are key things we need to look at. Everything is not about the House of Legislature. One thing I found is have an oversight function when it comes to the budget. It's our duty to make sure that we put money where it should be. But then also remember, on the floor we have various motions. We have various motions. We have incidental motion where all motion is just recognized by the speaker. So for people to talk is better, especially when we have two groups of house. We have the majority and the minority. So it's very, very difficult. But I'm with Kuti, I'm on the side of Kuti. I think we need to do some adjustment where the people, the budget is can be people-centered and not for our pockets. I support Mr. Kuti for that. Thank you.
Moses and Josh, I'm sure you may want to come in quickly out of questions or comment. Moses, you can begin.
Yeah, I want to make a comment. And this is where I would like to come from. Look, I will be speaking to you tonight as a professional. What is currently happening, Mr. Cody, former Speaker Cody, former Representative Cody, and the other guests on the show tonight? What is currently happening in Liberia? As a Liberian, it breaks my heart. Liberia is 178 years old, but we come across as so primitive, 178 years old, we do things, we just act in the moment. What is currently happening is very important. You don't bundle people and put them on the bus, and you say you're carrying them to a temporary holding. You're talking about people who are sick. What is your plan? Where you're taking these people, who do you have to service them? Nobody. No logistics, no medication. The professionals are not there. Tell me, how many psychiatrists do you have in Liberia? How many clinical social workers at my level that you have in Liberia to work with those people? You don't. And you put people on the bus and you can't.
Don't be surprised. Sunday, don't be surprised if the government will call you one day to come and help.
I'll be willing to help.
Don't be surprised because you have this issue. Don't be surprised.
Yeah, I will highly appreciate it. That is my expertise. I want to do this for my country. I'll be willing to do it if given the opportunity. I can run this program in Liberia effectively. I will recruit people from abroad. I will recruit people from West Africa, and we will pay them well. We can contain this problem. You don't have nobody to do the job. You say, not getting people to a temporary holding. And look, let me tell you, when you bring a group of artists together, that's what we call boredom. The people have nothing to do. They're just sitting there. What do? It increases their craving for wanting to use substance. They will start selling drugs in that very facility where they are. Nothing to do. You don't have that. So as a government, what we need to do is to plan properly. First thing you want to do, try to understand the problem. This is how we solve problem. What is this problem? What is the causation of the problem? These are some of the reasons. Some of these people are doing what we call self-medicating. They are numbing their problem. They may have marital problem. The man is struggling with post-traumatic stress disorder. He lost his mom. He has no support system. The man is unemployed. The man went to LU, graduated. He has nothing to do. The man is just sitting home all day. The man has so many things bothering him. The only way the man heals when the man is taking the substance. So it's okay. These are the issues that we have right now. What do we do as a country? What's going to be our intervention? Look, let's recruit these people. We need this number of people to do this. Some of these guys have serious mental health problems. Let me tell you, a good number of them are depressed. They have what we call clinical depression. A good number of these people have schizophrenia. It is not normal for anyone in your right mind to go and sleep in a cemetery. You can't use
But
such
Mr.
person by
Sunday, I
taking
have
them
a
to the
question for you.
holding center. Eh?
Mr. Sunday, I have a question for you.
Sure.
I have a question for you. You getting me?
Yes. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Thank you. You are in the United States of America,
Yeah.
where the United States has a GDP of $29 trillion.
Yes.
And also has a budget of $7 trillion for 2025.
Mhm.
What do you think is the reason for the United States still having a lot of Zogos? They may not call them Zogos out there, but
Yes.
they have the money, they have the expertise, they have everything. Why is it that they still have a lot of people dying in the streets from
Yes.
drugs?
Okay.
Why do you think it is happening?
Yeah, it's a very good question you asked, Mr. Kuti. And what the question you asked me, this will tell you why I have continuously condemned Senator DeLong when you say he graduating people. Okay? In the United States, there are records that show that the problem of addiction is worse in the United States. On an annual basis in the United States, people spend trillions of dollars trying to heal these people. Do you know how much they spend to heal one person? It's 8 to 80,000 US dollars to heal one man. Some of these guys have this problem for more than 20 years. I was talking to you. People come and see me. All people, black, Asians, white people, coming from wealthy families, they come and sit in my office and talk to me. The man will tell you, say, I started using drugs when I was 17. And the man is 50. It's a serious problem in the United States. It takes a lot of investment. Because what happens in the brain, that's what we call dopamine. It's a chemical. When a man take in our substance for an extended period of time, the man's brain is adjusted to that. The only way the man can function is until the man takes the drugs. You can do whatever you can. If you don't address those problems, Mr. Kuti, that man will never heal. That's
Okay,
I asked the question for one. There's a reason why I asked the question.
Yes.
There's a reason why I asked the question. Here in Liberia, we don't already have money. Our budget has never gone to $1 billion before. Never.
Yeah.
The DEA in Liberia is under supported.
Absolutely.
I think they have a budget of $3 million. Do you think it's easy to solve the problem in this country with that kind of a low budget for the DA and a country that has no money?
Another good question, Mr. Kuti, is a joke. Where I work, the rehab that we run, right? It's over $80 million a year. $80 million a year. Somebody like me, you will pay me what? I don't want to tell you how much I earn. I don't want to tell people publicly. But somebody like me, people of our category, there's a level of salary that we earn. You understand? A psychiatrist in the United States made $300,000. So you got $3 million. You want 10 clinical social workers at my level in Liberia. How much you will pay us? $2,000? You must be joking. You must be joking. If you hire 10% at our level, you will be spending almost $1 million. Almost $1 million. Just 10 of us. You hire psychiatrists. Yes.
So Moses is simply saying you won't come to Liberia.
I can come to Liberia. Look, we can do everything for anything we can do to help our country. Anything we can do for our country, we can do it. You understand? But I just want us to understand that this is a costly venture. You need addiction. You need what we call addiction counselors. You need psychiatric nurses. You need medical doctors. You need to bring in medication. You need to feed the people 3 times a day. You need them. These people need to be connected to services. What you are doing is what we call behavior modification. At the same time, you're addressing the mental health problem. You're teaching them the right skills. Now, hey, my man, what you're doing You don't have to go down run the street to use drugs. There are better ways that you can deal with this. And you are meeting with these people more than 4 or 5 times in a week. It's very cost intensive.
Okay, Moses, we hear you, Moses. It's very cost intensive. Now, coming back home, let's try to play this video quickly. When a group of at-risk youth were taken to a center, I think somewhere around Johnsonville. Let's try to play the video and see what happened.
So, it is a pleasant good afternoon from the township of Johnsonville. Welcome to DNS Liberia Army Royal Zimpan. Following the situation that occurred in Kingsville community, Painesville, where those disadvantaged youth protested that they want to leave drugs and placards were held in their hands. Following that situation, there was a multi-sector committee was established that comprises of the Liberia Resettlement Repatriation Commission, AFPRC, the Ministry of Health, and that of the Liberia National Police, of which we saw a video on the Facebook page of the Ministry of Health, of which those disadvantaged youth were placed in a bus, a National Transit Authority bus.
No more just damaging. Yeah. I'm asking myself to decide to bring myself yesterday. I was the one who was the flower seller. Say no to drugs. Myself to I'm a victim.
You say what? You say.
Gentlemen, you watch the video there. In fact, it started when some DEA personnel along with police went about demolishing ghettos, and later on but it was before the at-risk youth, a group of them, a huge number of them came out and said they were tired with the situation they found themselves in, and so they wanted to be rehabilitated. Now, but gentlemen, what we see is there, taking them to centers and breaking down their ghettos. Are we solving the problem or are we compounding the problem? Representative, let me hear from you. Mulba.
Yeah. I think from the look of the video, I think we are worsening the problem. We are watering the problem. It's not a help to us. First of all, if Mr. Cindy can bear me as a witness, when you are doing the relocation of these kids, right? First of all, you have to take into consideration the area analysis where you're taking them. You have communities that are not, populated with the issue of drugs, like Johnsonville. Johnsonville is not a polluted community. So if you take a group of young people from a polluted community like Painesville, bring them to Johnsonville, where Johnsonville have not yet, taken a lot of the kids have not yet, taken in drugs. Just by coming to Johnsonville, you are watering the situation, making it big for us. Because it's possible that the area I saw them, I see nothing like a quarantine area, like a fence to get them in. So if they get loose of the fence and they get outside, then I think we are just spreading drugs. We are not helping the situation, and we are making it worse for our society. Yeah.
Mr. Cody, let's hear from you.
We have a parable in Liberia where it says, when you fall, don't look at where you drop, but look at where you stump your toe. I think it's a little waste of time. I want to agree with the Honorable. We should tackle where the main problem is coming from. I don't care how many Zogos you're going to tie up and throw into trucks and take them to Banga or Lofa, as long as we don't touch the main problem. That is, those who are bringing drugs to this country will be wasting our time. In the year 1989, we, the 51st legislature, established a central bank from the National Bank. And one of the main reasons was to improve the monetary system in the country, to solve a lot of problems, including this. But I don't see it happening as long as we don't tackle the main problem. You beat the Zogos, you grab them, you send them to school, you graduate them after 1 month, they go back and the drugs are still coming. The problem is not solved. So mine take is that we should tackle where the problem is coming from.
Are we handling this whole drug crisis from handling it in a piecemeal fashion without any structural program? Is that what we're seeing around here? Because like the rep said, taking those people to Johnsonville after you've taken them from Painesville, it's like, especially where there's no real protective structure to hold them, and you don't have the psychiatrists to deal with them and all of that, or to handle that situation. What are we seeing? On the part of our government, are we really serious with handling or fighting the drug war? Representative Mulba, let me hear from you once again.
The fight of drug is a large one. It's something that we all need to look at. I'm one of those that supported the issue, especially to place the issue of drugs on the floor, trauma to that of the drugs itself, illicit drugs. But then what I observe is that maybe it is based upon the petition that was given the president, because the citizens themselves issue a petition to the president. And in order to implement those accounts, I think what the president is doing is to make sure that he tries to slow the noise. But then you cannot, be hasty in slowing the noise. You have to be very careful. This entire thing is a planning process. First of all, you have to know, you have to strategize to see where, when you take them, what will become of them. That's the first thing. That's the primary thing. Right after the training, what next? Then you also need to look for a location, a site that is quarantine, that you can quarantine them, right? Where you can have people, trained doctors, people that have the experience can go in to do the training. You could do a training for like 6 to 7 months, right? But then the issue is that when you are clean, what next? And those that are not part of drugs, what next? When they graduate from high school, getting on the street, will they just get on the street, or will the government find a way to give them a job? So there are things that I think it need something that we all need to come together. We need a general meeting where experts can come and give ideas. And when we put these things together and have a plan, a drugs plan to mitigate the process, then I think we will be moving in the right direction. But without that, I think it's a robust one. But the way we're going about it is not good for us, and it will worsen the situation. Yeah.
It will worsen. Okay. Yes.
I think the speakers are correct. I think it's like if we're not careful, we'll be worsening already worsening situation. Because the guys who have been, some of them volunteering to go to centers, they are victims. They are victims of drugs abuse. The dealers, I think we need to strengthen our bowlers. One of the weaknesses we have in our bowlers, as I see, is because on the other side, economically it's good, but it's because of the ECOWAS free trade policies. Borders, most of the tightening of borders are weakened. So because of the weakening situation, that's how most of these things are really infiltrating. But the policy, they didn't tell you, say, don't tighten your borders against criminals. Okay? But we should make sure to tighten our borders, all our borders, air, land, and sea. Because the drugs are coming from every angle. If someone can be brave to import drugs into this country through the RIA, it should tell you the extent at which this thing is flowing in the country. With hundreds of porous borders that are not manned in this country. So I think we need to empower state securities to take over the borders that are not manned, to ensure that, to equip them in order to enforce further their alertness to track down these drugs. Because when the goods is not available, there will be no buyer. But where it is, as it flows into the country, every time, even if you try to crack down on these users who are the victims or we crack down on these users who are the victims, the commodity will still be in circulation on the black market. In fact, some people used to do it in the open. So we should fight this thing from the source. That is, those are bringing it in the country. That's how me I look at it. And I think the honorable, all the speakers here are correct, including.
Can I ask a question to Mr. Kennedy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Kennedy, with the threatening of the border, I think it's a brilliant idea. But don't you think that it's necessary to shame public officials who are taking drugs? Because even if you threaten the border and you have people in the system, drugs will still come in. I just want to get that concept. Yeah,
that is exactly what we've been advocating here, Mr. George and I, Mr. Sandy. We've always said if we got information on public officials involved, we should release it so we can dismiss them. We shouldn't be blasting at those who are telling us that they got information. We should be petting them to name those officials. But you, the lawmakers, what most of you are telling honorable to other time.
Let me just say small. Mr. Kennedy.
Excuse me, let me lay on you, then you get what I mean. If you invite an official of government, a drug fighter who is alleging that some official of government are involved in dealing drugs in the country, and you invite them on the horse floor, all the lawmakers circle them, you think you get good information from them? The answer is no. Don't use the flow of the legislature to get that man confessing. He won't.
Okay, so gentlemen, before we go further,
can I come in quick? My recommendation I give, I think I've been saying this over the radio for so many times. I think it's necessary. The first step the president took with the drug testing, where he did a test, and I think it's necessary that we open it up to all public officials. When you cannot take the test, then you will not receive salary. If we do that, we'll weed out those that are taking drugs.
Yes,
that's a good idea.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's a very brilliant idea.
I have a question for Mr. Sandy. I got a question for Mr. Sandy.
No, I come in.
We interviewing you.
Let me welcome Mr. Wisa quickly. Mr. Oliver Wisa has joined us. Mr. Wisa, welcome to the program.
So thank you so much for inviting me, and let me say sorry for coming so late. I had to run somewhere to get to the airport, but yeah, it is a pleasure being on the show. Thank you, so I'm happy to be here.
Mr. Kennedy, I beg you, it's a general discussion now. I just want to ask my brother.
No, Mr. Delacody, please. 1 minute, Mr. Delacody. Mr. Delacody, please, 1 minute.
Yeah.
Mr. Wisa, before you came, we've been talking about the issue, the drug situation in our country. The pandemic is bedeviling our country to the extent that our youthful population, it's been highly affected, highly hit, and almost every week or every day you wake up from bed, you see a young man who was found out of death from taking drugs. So do you think with what is obtaining, I'm sure you've been seeing some of the videos with people being taken, some of the risk you've been taken to centers around Johnsonville, the breaking down of their ghettos. Is it the right way to approach the drugs war that we're fighting, or you see we're making things more complicated? Mr. Wisa, let's hear from you.
Yeah, so Sabah, I think the government is on the right trajectory, honestly. By taking those people to Johnsonville, we have to start from somewhere. I disagree with some of your guests that are proposing that there should be some kind of study, there should be some kind of time giving. It has been quite a long time that Liberia has suffered from the issue of drugs. So if the government today, through the DEA, is breaking out ghettos and getting those boys somewhere to be, at least for now, it should be commended. And we all should support that. One time I said on the show that the DEI program failed because of this kind of, these kinds of way of thinking. we have to take a step to solve a problem. We cannot keep studying this thing over and over, year after year, when our children are dying. So I think President Boakai and the entire government is taking the right step to stop the drug once and for all. They are taking.
What do you refer to? No, I'm coming, Mr. I'm coming, Mr. Sunday. Mr. Sunday, I'm coming. Mr. What do you refer to as the appropriate steps that the government has taken? Do you think it's a structural, or do you think we're just trying to handle in a piecemeal, just going to grab a group of at-risk youth and take them to somewhere you call a center without having the psychiatrists, the personnel to handle that case? Is it what you call the appropriate step that the government is taking, Mr. Wisa?
Sabah, we must take steps one at a time. We must take steps one at a time. The government has started to demolish ghettos and taking at-risk youth to a center. And you are a journalist, and there are other journalists on the show, and there's a lawmaker here on the show. People should be able to investigate these things. What is the government doing? The government is a full government. I am sure that there is a plan and there is a structure that the government is following to implement all of these steps. We cannot sit on a show and say the government should have done this, the government should be doing this. It is a whole government that is working. It is a functional government. And this government is saying, and Liberians are saying no to drugs. To do that, we got to be practical. We can't be political all the time. We cannot be. Let's the issue of drugs. Every day.
Let's go there, Mr.
Mr.
Mr. Let's go.
And we all have to support that.
Mr. Wisa, you made a point. Let's hear from Moses.
Yeah, look, Mr. Wisa, with all due respect to you, I'm a nationalist. What we are seeing here tonight, if you do not have an expertise in a profession, do not try to dismiss what people are saying. What is currently happening is an impulsive action. Someone just woke up one morning and look at the blue sky and say, this is what I want to do. Studies have shown over and over, research has shown that if you want to heal people who struggle with substance use, it's treatment. You cannot penalize them. Do you know that these people have constitutional rights? In the United States here, let me tell you, in the United States here, if someone has problem with substance use, the only way that person can be admitted against his or her will, if the person is at risk with his or herself and others. Other than that, you do that, you will be held liable legally. That's one thing. Now, you grab a group of people and put them together and carry them to one little house and warehouse them. Do you have the expertise and you say that is logical?
Okay.
You just put people in one little house and you say that is logical?
Moses, let's go in there, please. Moses, yes, go ahead quickly. Yes, go ahead.
All right.
No, right before you come in, Mr. Wisa come in. Right before you come in, let Mr. Wisa come in quickly because he has to respond to Moses.
He will respond to me, so I guess anyway.
Okay.
All right. This is not a debate. Yeah, right. This is not a debate between the veteran and I. But what I want to say here is that he is a specialist in the area. He has the expertise. As a true Liberian and someone who loves the country, I think Mr. Kennedy should be thinking about going back to Liberia to make contributions to the fight against drugs as we speak right now. That is what he should be doing. Now, the people in Liberia and the entire government, is working towards solving a problem. We cannot wait for all the expertise in this world to start fighting drugs. And people are dying every day. So we have to take steps.
Mr. Wuse, you're saying that the government is taking steps, and we have to take steps to solve the problem. But is the step you're taking, or are the steps the appropriate steps? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, these steps are appropriate steps. So you were in the country recently when you have women and children marching towards drugs, saying no to drugs. After saying no to drugs, what do? You take actions. And we see the DA in every community trying to demolish ghettos. Are that not appropriate steps?
You demolish the ghetto. I come in. Demolishing the ghetto is one thing, and trying to take them to a safe home is another thing. Don't you think you need adding?
Mr. Sobel, we saw you play a video right now that the government has taken some of these children to Johnsonville. Whether it is one room or two rooms, they have taken them there. And I'm quite sure as a responsible government, they will have people that will take care of the children, and it will take time.
Okay, let's
we cannot say that. Okay, let them keep dying and people can get all the expertise in the world. It's not possible.
Okay, let's go there. Representative Small, let's hear from you quickly.
All right, it will take like roughly 5 minutes so that I can just hit those points that my brother Wise mentioned. Remember now, our interest is the interest of the Liberian people because we are people-centered. My thing is, I'm a realist, and I'm there to tell government, look, we need to do this. When you do good, we say you did good. But then, Mr. Wise, the thing here is this. The issue of fighting drugs is not about the property, the demolition of the property. That's not the fight. The fight is about the human, the young people, the individual. That's the fight. So what I'm saying is this. If you relocate them, I remember, I'll give you cases in Mexico, 2006, when they raided the ghetto and took those illicit drug guys from the street. They took them to a quarantine area far from the location they were. Likewise, in Colombia, 2016, the army did the same thing, took them from their location and quarantined them to a destination far from where they came from, so that they can't get back to the drugs. You took someone from Painesville. I'm not saying what the government is doing is wrong. I support it to damage those ghettos, but then the process, there should be a system. Before damaging the ghettos, make sure that you have a quarantine area. It could be Bella Yala, right? Where you have professional people that will transform them, not to take them from this location and relocate them with nothing going on, nothing happening. We saw the video. The area they were, no face, nothing. So who you get to protect them? If they slip, you have people in Johnsonville that haven't been close to drugs, young people. So if they slip, they will get close to those young people and spoil the internet system, pollute the system. That's what we're talking about. No one hit the party here. Political.
The thing is, your colleagues are saying you can handle the thing without putting a structure in place. You'll be doing it in a slapdash manner, but it's not well organized. Haphazard. Do you think it's a way to approach the whole drug issue? That's the argument your colleagues are propounding. Mr. Wise.
But Sober, a lawmaker just spoke. I just want to know how long he's been a lawmaker and what has he been doing towards having a place where we can keep the children. It has been years. People are dying every day in the country. They are lawmakers. Somebody asked the question. I think it was Mr. Koti. They get $45,000 buying vehicles. Which law have they made so far to have a place to keep these children? We cannot be playing fun with the people every day. We cannot be playing fun with the people. All right? Yeah, so I mean, I think the government is taking the appropriate at this time to ensure that the issue of drugs is totally eliminated from the country. And it has to start. It has to start now. Let them make the great laws. So this lawmaker sitting here, what has he done? What have we done to ensure that we have a center to carry these young people? When they're taking all the money all the time. So
Mr. Saber, can I
respond? Yes, can you respond? Yeah, Representative Mulbach. Yes.
So let me just say this quick. So maybe you may not be aware of Mr. Mulbach. Mr. Mulbach is a young man who have been dealing with the young people over and over and over and over. Mr. Mulbach is the young man who built one of the best schools in Liberia, multi-international school system. Mr. Mulbach is the young man who building hospital, dialysis hospital, right? Mr. Mulbach is the young man who provided scholarship, 128 scholarship to young people. Mr. Mulbach is the young man who have put young people together. And I'm the same person who placed this issue of drugs on the floor. When you talk about law, the war crime code, I'm the young man who placed it on the floor today. We have the war crime code going through with the executive order 15 something, right? 131, sorry. Here's the thing. I think the issue is not about political party when we draw down the issue there. What we are saying is this: the process, the procedure, in order to get these young people, all of these young people, to change them. We are not just going to put them somewhere and tomorrow they get back to drugs. It will be more harmful. So we can change them totally and they be part of society. That's what we're saying. And let me say this to you. You talk about car. Let me outline the budget to you. We have 5% of the budget. $880 million. That's the budget 2025. Just 5% with the House of Legislature. 2.7 judiciary. 92.4 with the executive. They have the money.
It is not a justification, sir. It is never a justification.
It is, young man.
They're getting salary. You want to purchase a vehicle. Not government giving you $45,000 per car. If you are working,
let me tell you what I do with the vehicle. Let me tell you what I do with the vehicle. If I say no to the vehicle, my district will not benefit. So what I did with the vehicle, I took that vehicle, I auctioned the vehicle, and built a technical college for my people. That's it. That's the kind of young person I am. I got cars. I don't need cars. But what we are saying is beyond that. It's beyond politics. It's in the interest of all of our children.
Okay, gentlemen, let's look at the fight against drug from another perspective. We see that the users are the ones who we are running behind. In fact, as we speak now, the government is picking it up and taking them to what is rehabilitation center? We don't know, or to a center. What happens to our effort being also targeted at the importers and the peddlers? Rather, we are targeting our entire effort at the users. Don't you think with cherry picking in our fight against the drugs, narcotics and other substances? Dave Cody, that's
okay. May I come in?
Yes, come quickly.
Okay, thank you. I think this is why I wanted to come to my brother Sandy to help us. Now that the government has taken this step, arresting the Zogos or the users, taking them to a particular place, what do you want to suggest to the government to do after this? You're an expert on this issue. Whether it is a mistake or not, it has been done. People have been arrested. The users, those who are bringing the drug, are still sitting there enjoying themselves. But the users are arrested now and taken to a particular place. What do you think can be done? This whole thing about drug is not something to play with. I remember the former president of the Philippines. He used to kill his people in the street. He just shot them and killed them. Right now, he's wanted for war crime or something by the International War Crimes Court. Now, what can be done now? Because the people, some government officials are listening to you tonight, or listening to this program tonight. What suggestion do you have to give to
Mr. Cody?
Yeah.
Most is now on the program as guests. We are looking at what we are looking at now. Whether we are handling this.
Let me quickly answer a question. Yeah.
No, I'm coming, Moses. I'm coming.
Okay.
Moses, I'm coming. We have to do this orderly. No, we're trying to look at it from another perspective. Are we cherry picking? Are we cherry picking, or are we doing it the appropriate way? Because we have the peddlers, we have the importers. Why can't we direct our effort at those people? Then the users, people who just and the innocent user in another word. Rather because
we said it.
I'm coming. We heard about a couple of arrests. In fact, the deputy DA boss came up to say, well, some of those behind this whole cartel are government people. What are we not looking for those people? Rather, we are grabbing the users.
So
But that's the point.
Can I come in?
That's the point.
So let me just say something quickly, guys.
Moses are coming. Let me come quickly.
Yeah, yes, the big brother Moses Sunday can bear me witness with my big brother David Koti. I think we have two ways of this fight. One is to make sure what we mention a national drug tax for all public officials in government. If people refuse, just how we're going about with the asset declaration, I think the president need to come up very strong that all government officials, then we will be able to weed those government officials that are taking drugs from the process. Then we shame them. Another way to do that is to make sure the DEA, the team responsible for drugs, there shouldn't be an enforcing team, not just an enforcing team. There should be an intelligent team where DEA will not be in uniform. They could be in plain clothes and visit various areas. You will get to know them when you are not showing off in your uniform. You will get to know the drug user. It's very easy to arrest any of them.
Yeah.
But most of the DE go in their uniform. So when they appear in their uniform, somebody blow alarm. Before you make up your mind, the place, everything is scattered. So we need a DEA, a robust DEA. And true to that, even the DEA group, I'm only aware of the Army. This is the reason I say the Army should come out. The Army and Immigration, they are the only group in this country doing testing, drug testing. The rest of them, the DEA, they are not. And even in the DEA, you have people who are taking drugs. So how can a man who taking drugs for drugs? Due to that, the DEA, their salary, right, is less. The drugs dealer, the user, they are very lucrative people. They have money. So how can a DEA, poor DEA officer go and confiscate drugs? It's very difficult because they could be bribed. So if we can just...
Okay. Yes, okay, quickly.
Honorable, you just said a very cardinal thing about the DEA. One is you said DEA officers' salary very less.
Yeah.
Now that the budget is being discussed, what plan do you have relative to that, especially the security force as a whole?
So from the initial stage, I make mention of I'm just one person in the house which is just different. People just don't understand me because I believe that the budget should be people-centered, people-oriented, and not for us, the government official. So I think in order to get that straight, first of all, the budget itself should be debatable. But at the House, we don't go about budget hearing. That's the founder. And the budget hearing is not a debate. So the budget is a bill that will be enacted into law. So when it comes, it should go through two or few readings so that we can debate. In debating the issue, some of us can come up with these things. But my thing is that we have people and we have even goods and services that is not necessary. We can reduce that aspect of the budget. We just to the core. When we reduce that, we can shift some of those money to the issue of drugs, even with the health ministry and with the youth and sport. The youth and sport receive $5 million for the 2025 budget plus $5 million plus. And under that, you have rehabilitation. Who are those that the Ministry of Health rehabilitating? So we need to take it from Ministry of Health and give it to the DA.
Okay, gentlemen, we'll have to reach a conclusion. But in reaching the conclusion on days, Akami Moses Akami, we'll have to come up with a recommendation from each of you as to how we can really address this problem. I can remember during the last administration, there was this issue again about a risk youth that the last administration initiated. In fact, I understand they were building some center somewhere out in the Broadville community or something. And I followed the former minister of youth and sports, Zoka Wilson, when he used to go to meet the at-risk youth and trying to educate them and inform them about the efforts government was making, that the government will be shortly taking them out of the taking them from the streets to take them to those centers. So let's try, because we can do the program without making a recommendation. I'm sure there should be some higher ups listening to this program. How do we find an amicable solution to this, taking into consideration the issue of those who are peddling, those who are importing, and the rehabilitation of our young people who are the victims, who are the ones being affected? Because we'll have to go to something that could likely blow into a full, into a major crisis tomorrow. We'll have to talk about that. We have the police IG video. We'll have to play that to talk about the latest decision taken by the police regarding the eviction of the CDC from its headquarters. We'll have to zero on that before we can close up on the program. But let's come up with a recommendation. Let me begin with you, Mr. Oliver Wiese, and then we'll go to the Rep, and then David Cody and
please, yeah, I'm a little bit pressed for time. Let me just make my professional recommendation quickly, Saba. Let me just read that based on the question that Mr. Cody posed to me. If I were the president of the Republic of Liberia today, I will apply a two-pronged approach to this problem. This government team, they refer to themselves as rescue. You have a crisis. You have an emergency situation on your hand. What I will do to stabilize the situation? The first thing I'm going to do, I will authorize the Minister of Finance that, hey, we have a crisis. Let's make available $25 million now. The $25 million, we begin aggressive recruitment of the professionals who know how to do this job. You're recruiting psychiatrists, you're recruiting psychiatric nurses, you're recruiting professional clinical social worker, addiction counselors. You're bringing in medication. That's what we call medication management. You're bringing people that are addressing mental health problem, at the same time addressing the substance use problem. You create or you build a rehab that will be well funded. You have staff that will work 3 shifts. People go in the morning, people go 3 to 11, and people work from what? 11 to 7 in the morning. You have that kind of shift running, you pay them good salary. The average say the least man who works there, as a Liberian standard, you pay that man maybe $1,500. The average man, you're not talking about people like us. The average person, you pay that person $1,500 to just be a PS specialist. That's one thing you need to do to tackle this. Stabilize the situation. When you stabilize the situation, you turn to the LDA. Now, we're trying to go after what? The supply chain. You make huge investment into the LDA. The leadership crisis you have there, you resolve that crisis, you make budgetary allocation for them, you make sure the entire country, you the law enforcement, enforcing the laws of the country, holding people accountable. You make anyone bringing in drugs and told the law is what it's not billable. You're holding people accountable. Once you do that, and you're paying those people world salary, all the guys who are not taking salary at the LDA, make sure that you pay them, because you can't be a law enforcement officer.
Thank you, Moses.
Working for the LDA, going after drug dealers, and you are a volunteer. Once you do that, you can stabilize the situation. That will break the chain.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Moses. Let's hear from Mr. Cody quickly, a few minutes. In 1 or 2 minutes, your recommendation.
Well, I think a few seconds will be okay. I agree with Mr. Sandy 150%. It may not be $25 million down because we don't have that kind of money now. You could start with $5 million, another time another 5 until you can get to the 25. But something has to be done now. There must be a very good place and there must be specialists. This is no joke matter here. It's no joke matter. We need the money. We do not have the money to put 25 down right away, but we can do it step by step. But something has to be done. Thank you.
Okay, many thanks. Mr. Wisa, Oliver Wisa, let's hear from you. Your recommendation, just in a few seconds.
Yeah, Sabra. So let me also agree with Mr. Sandy. 25%. Just 25% that we need at least. We need at least 10 to 15 or maybe $25 million, but not to pay all that money to specialists and all of that. I think that money should be used to properly build real centers, well secured, and then give an SOS call to people around the world to help Liberia. I can remember during the time of the Ebola, and actually make a call across the world that we needed help. As we speak right now, the issue of drugs is an emergency. The president can ask friendly people, just opening up and say, listen, guys, we are dying, we need help. With the center in place, a well-developed center, there will be volunteers flowing to that country to help Liberian people.
Mr. Wisa,
dying. Yeah.
Mr. Thank you very much. Let's hear from you. Rep in a few seconds, your recommendation quickly, so we can transition.
I think everyone made a very prudent point. But what I would like to add on that, one thing we need to do is to have a quarantine center, and a quarantine center where the area will be far from the location where they are getting these young guys from, our young people, and they should have professional people there to transform them. But let me tell you the money aspect, how we can get the money. I think we can get the money very quickly with this year budget. This year budget, we have what we call the social development, the SDF, and we also have the county development. When you put all together, I think we can get close to about $10 million, right? So I think this is an epidemic, and all of us need to work towards it. No need to take the people money, which is the county development fund that belongs to every county. Let the money be used to fight drugs, and let the social development fund money be used to fight drugs. And when we do that, I think we will do better for our country. Thank you.
Okay, many thanks, gentlemen. We're hoping that some higher ups are listening. Those who have the ears of the president, we're hoping that some of them are listening because this issue is very, very, very important. We can have our younger people being wept away on almost on a daily basis. Let's try to upload the video. There's news, something popping up. We need to talk about that before we open the lines. But let's try to upload the video. The police director, police inspector general rather, today spoke to the media, spoke to the people of Liberia. Let's try to listen to him.
Of the Sixth Judicial Circuit Court of Liberia regarding the eviction of the Congress for Democratic Change from its headquarters is a lawful order that must be respected. The Sixth Judicial Circuit Court of Liberia has requested the Liberia National Police to assist in the execution of a writ of possession in the case mentioned above. Said action will be executed on the morning of Saturday, August 23rd, 2025. As a professional and impartial institution, the Liberia National Police reaffirms its neutrality and commitment to uphold the law without fear or favor. Our role is not political, but constitutional, to protect lives, preserve the public order, and ensure that the lawful decisions of the court are carried out in a peaceful manner. We're calling on the Congress for Democratic Change as one of Liberia's influential political institutions to demonstrate leadership, responsibility, and respect for the authority of the courts. Compliance with the law is not a sign of weakness, but a powerful example of statesmanship and a commitment to the democratic process. We urge all partisans and supporters of the CDC to remain calm, peaceful, and law-abiding. Liberia has come way too far in strengthening its democracy for us to allow political disagreement to derail the peace we have worked so hard to build. The CDC has played a central role in our nation's democratic journey, and it now has an opportunity to lead by example by choosing peace over confrontation, dialogue over disruption, and respect for the rule of law over defiance. Let us remember that upholding the rule of law honors the sacrifices of our past and safeguards the future for generations to come. Liberia belongs to all of us, and peace remains our shared responsibility. Thank you all.
Okay, so gentlemen, that's the voice of the Inspector General sounding, in a more appeal manner. But in reaction to that, let me try to read this post done by Sekou Carrasco Damaro. He said they should serve as a serious caution to Gregory Cuomo. Please take note that any violence resulting in the death of any Liberian tomorrow will be your responsibility. We advise you to refrain from being manipulated, as there will be repercussions. This issue is currently before the court, yet you have sent a notification to the CDC regarding an eviction that we believe is unlawful. These are official documents. Okay, he placed some documents on his post, but the CDC is saying that the pending eviction that the IG was just talking about is illegal, and the CDC is warning through what we just read that there could be violence, and if any deaths occurred, the IG will be held responsible. Gentlemen, where are we heading? Let me hear from you, Mr. Wisa, first. Oliver.
Yeah, so let me just say, I see a very professional police officer who is speaking as a man who loves his country and a man who believes in peace and democracy. At the same time, a man who will not sit down and allow a few handful of people to disrupt the peace that we enjoy in this country. So,
Oliver, 1 minute. We said 1 minute. Gentlemen, can you mute your microphone? We're hearing noise from the back. Can you mute your microphone? Okay, yes, Oliver, go right ahead quickly. Mr. Wisa, go right ahead.
Yeah, so as I was saying to you, with the issue of Sekou Carrasco is just talking because he wants to talk, because there's nobody in that bureau that is above the law. No institution, no one political party can dictate to the government. The government has said, in fact, the court has ruled that they should leave that particular party headquarters. Since then, they have not left. So if the government says we are moving in Saturday, it is the government. And I support that. And if anybody dies in the protest, it will be on the head of the CDC, because they have refused to leave, even when the court has ruled. You understanding me? We have to run the country. We don't have the country when we have laws that we obey. Let the law be the laws. Yeah.
Okay, let's hear from you, Mr. Koti. Mr. Koti, can you unmute? Let's hear from you.
Sir. Yeah, hello.
Let's hear from you quickly.
Hello.
Yes,
okay,
let's hear.
Thank you. Okay, are you getting me?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I think there should be a wake-up call to all political parties and other major institutions like the PUL and even football institutions. RE was established in 1943, May 10. They cannot show you one zinc shack to say this is our office. Mighty Borough was established in 1956, May 12. They cannot show you one zinc shack. The PUL has been on Clay Street in a makeshift building for more than 30 years. Even when the Salif government gave them $100 US to help them have their own headquarters, they still don't have anything they can boast of. The same thing comes to political parties. Unity Party from the 80s up to now cannot show any zinc shack. This is a shame and a disgrace to all political parties. It is a wake-up call. And I don't think people should be threatening people here. The police is speaking, not because they want to do something, but it is a court that is asking them to do something. So I don't think there should be any threat in this. Let's just take it easy. It happened to Unity Party. We pack up and we left. Even where we are now, it's a shame. In one squeeze-up place on Broad Street, we should be talking about 5 acres of land where we can go and do the house. Say, it's a shame. If I were Kalasco, I would be hiding myself now and be finding a way to find a place to build my own place. The only party that is trying to do this now is the CMC, Abilities Party. They are thinking about building their own headquarters. I have been in politics since 1987 when I was chairman of ACOP. Even my former party, which was established in 1997, up to now, can I show you one zinc shack? This is a shame and a disgrace. It should be a wake-up call to all parties. Have your own place, even if it is one lot. Have your own place. Instead of making threats around here, we will do this, a 10-person died, 1 person died. Don't even talk about death. Be talking about finding a place to move in your own place. Thank you very much.
Okay, Representative Mulba, let's hear from you also regarding this whole CDC and police saga. You heard the police inspector general. He said, well, they're going to enforce the orders from the courts, but some CDC folks are saying that they're not going to listen to the police, and they believe if there's any violence that may result into deaths, Gregory Coleman, the IG, will take responsibility. Where are we heading, you think? Yes, please unmute.
I would like to say this. The scope of modern politics look different. I remember when I was a kid, way down the line, during the 80s, even the True Party held a building. And it surprised me to see that you have our modern time dispensation, you have political party like the Unity Party that came in power, they had 2 terms, and they couldn't show anything. Because when you
let me correct something quickly. One thing quickly, please.
Yeah.
The how you call it, man? The old party that you just mentioned. The Congo Boys Party, man.
The True Party.
Yeah, True Party. The building on Broad Street.
Yeah, thank you. The True Party has never had its own building. No way. That building on Ashman Street is our building. But there's a problem on that building now. They didn't own that building. We all pay taxes. The Liberian people's money put that building up. They never own their own place. It's our money, our place. Thank you.
All right. So I will not go into that because you my big brother now, so you know history. So what I would like to say with the issue of the IG, first of all, he was professional to announce the issue from the court. But I think to go through an abrupt invasion, I think it's wrong. I think the CDC need time. It could be like 2 weeks, 3 weeks to allow them to easily vacate from the building. But to go abruptly, I think will create chaos, and we should avoid the politics and look at the broader side so that we can keep our peace. So I'm just urging the IG to be more professional, to at least give them time interval, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, where all of us, the citizens, can see that they were giving enough time to vacate. Then if you do that, then I think the IG is more professional. But I think you should give some time so that they can adhere to it. Yeah.
Yes, George?
Yes, I want to thank the other speakers, and I want to join the honorable. I may not go for the 3 weeks. All right, I may not go for the 3 weeks, but at least a week could could. Look, the CDC is adamant they don't want to move. And really, the statement Carrasco issue, I mean, it's just unfortunate. He shouldn't have threatened about people dying. I don't know his position in the CDC. I know he's an aide to the president, to the former president. The chairman of the party has not spoken. The secretary general of the party has not spoken. A lot of other people there who hold key positions, they have not spoken. He issued that statement. I understand that the CDC will have press conference today, but the CDC as an institution, through the hierarchy, they didn't have any press conference today. So his statement there to threaten, I think, is vague. It's not good for our country. Let's listen to the official voice of the party, and then I would like the RG to at least to say at most give them a week to say, look, you have 1 week. Even though they're acting in line with the law, the police is acting in the line with the law because it's court orders. The Supreme Court upheld that ruling the other time in the last week when I said it here the other time. Supreme Court says Supreme Court in the family crisis over that land to the families that you own this aspect. But when it comes to the evasion order in that ruling, Supreme Court upheld it in their final ruling. So it is done with. It is something that the CDC will have to think about leaving that place and let the matter settle, let peace be. You are not above the laws of this country. You need to act in conformity with the law, because I can remember when Unity Party lost a case to the McLean family, the UP left from our headquarters during night hours. They didn't wait for daytime to come. Small shame is better than big shame. You cannot use the public as shield to try to take over, illegally take over another person's property. As we use the word illegally because this is a court ruling. So the police, the RG was right. He was very professional. But RG just wanted to say it's not a sign of weakness, but it is a sign of strength. If you say, okay, I give people 1 week to peacefully leave the area, I will appeal for that. Nonsense.
Now, gentlemen, Reb and Oliver and Dave, no, some folks of the CDC believe that this whole headquarters saga is something being fueled by folks from the Unity Party, because maybe the Unity Party believe, they felt they went through the same disgrace, and so they went for CDC. Do you think, Oliver? Let me hear from you. Do you think any of your folks are in support of what's happening to the CDC?
Hello, Sabah. I don't know what you mean if you ask whether my folks are in support or what has happened to the CDC. The CDC is in a court case with a family, and the court has ruled that they should leave the property. Very, very simple as that. Just leave. Mr. Koti said something here. It is a shame to Liberian political parties. All right? You ran this government for 6 years and you acquired properties, personal properties. Some people who couldn't rent 2-bedroom or if I 1-room build mansions in less than 2 years. And you still have the whole political party. They didn't build a room for themselves. We cannot blame anybody in this case. Let the people leave. Nobody is not in favor or is in favor. The law should be the law. What is the law? It is not for somebody in favor here. They need to leave. That's all. And to have a country, you should have laws that can be implemented and respected. If you have a segment of your people who feel that they cannot follow any law, then you don't have a country. You don't have a country. We all need to support the police and support the government to ensure that the CDC follows the law.
So do you think, so in the face of the threats or the face of what we read in the post posted by Carrasco, I'm sure that embodies the views of other members of the CDC. Do you think the police still need to carry out the eviction orders tomorrow?
Of course. Lord, listen. in your house, if you tell your children, do not drink in the cup. You see this cup? Don't drink this cup, or this bottle. And you have your son taking a bottle to drink in it. If you don't take any action, the other boy will come after him and use that same cup. A government is a government. Kalasco cannot threaten the whole state. If Kalasco won war, we gave him war. Listen, what we're saying here is that this is a country that must follow laws. The CDC cannot threaten the whole state. Why should Kalasco come and say 18% die, if 50% die, or even 100 people die, it will be squarely the fault of the CDC, because the police RG had just spoken professionally, somebody who is interested in democracy. If a failed political
can I just get a minute, please, Mr. Wilson? Can I just get a minute quickly?
Okay, go ahead quickly, Moses.
Yeah, quickly, guys. Let me just say this. Look, I agree with all of you. The law is the law. If I were the director of police, I would have called no news conference. No. Nowhere in the world when people are being evicted, people call news conferences, they come and say, oh, well, we're coming to evict you. If the court gives a directive, you go and execute the directive. The law is the law. If I were the director of police, our people were just going to show up at the CDC headquarters tomorrow. Nobody is above the law. The law is the law. No need for news conference. The director of police even made this more political, giving the CDC more relevance. The people are out of compliance with the laws of the country. You just go there and execute the law. And lastly, this is what I would like to say. If I were the director of police, by now, Mr. Sekou Kolasco will be in prison. We would have arrested Mr. Sekou today because he is instigating chaos.
Yes.
That would be my proposition. Yes.
Okay, let's hear from you. Rep, Mulba, let's hear from you.
All right. First of all, I don't know whether my brother we said really understand the issue of conflict management, especially when you are a leader and you have talk from the other side. Your duty is to help mitigate the situation because you are the one in position. So to use the word to say Kalasco won war, we will give him war, I think was not necessary because you are also on the platform, the people out there listening to you, the citizen. And when you use such a word, I think it's not good for our people. And I would say this, even the Unity Party, I think they are also in error now because I expect by now we are almost through of our second year. Yet and still, you cannot see a party for Unity Party. They should be doing something to build, to show up. Because the thing about political party is when you have a political party, it should live on, not for just worth. But what I noticed, most often political party in Liberia dies after a decade. You won't hear about a political party. So all in all, I think the IG was more professional to announce it because the situation in Liberia, Cindy, is different from what we have in the U.S. In the U.S., politics is peaceful. But in Liberia, there's a tussle between the CDC to that of the Unity Party. So by pronouncing it to the CDC is to tell them that we are getting ready for the invasion from the court order, right? I think it's a highlight that the CDC could grab and work towards. My only thing is to keep this peace that we all yearn for is to create a time interval that will be given to the CDC. It could be a week, it could be 2 weeks, give it to them so that you can clear the notion for the public, the perspective out there so that they shouldn't say that the P4 on CDC, they went on CDC. No, we want peace. So all we need to do is to keep the peace and allow them have 1 week where all of the citizens will be aware and they can carry on the invasion. I think it's necessary because they had time to work. CDC went 6 years to have built one space, but they did not. And when the court said this, according to Article 16 of our Constitution, it's a private property. It's not for CDC. It should be given to the people. So I will not support CDC. Likewise, I will not support the quick mentor from the court. Thank you.
Okay, but what's about the statement made by if you were
can I come in now?
Kalasco back down? Yeah,
can I come in?
Let me say this. Politics is just politics. Propaganda is just propaganda. We listen to Yeke. Yeke ready, he say a lot of things. This person ready to say a lot of things. That's freedom of speech. Everybody should be given the time for freedom of speech. But we all, as citizens, should be very careful how we go about it. We shouldn't let push the public out there, our people out there, to go into violence. Let us be people of our words and protect the peace. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Thank you. Can I come in now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Like I said before, on this particular program, the nighttime heat, most people join political parties on a quid pro quo basis. Quid pro quo basis. Something for something. They don't join the party because of the ideology of the party or because they love the party. It's quid pro quo. Something for something. I said this to say, I'm trying to prove what Mr. Wisa said. Look at some of the private homes of some of these leaders of political parties that they never got when they were in the private sector on their own. I know of some people, not only the CDC, I know of some people who were worse than useless for decades until they joined government. I repeat, not only the CDC, I know of some people in this country who were worse than useless when they were in the private sector until they joined government. But after the joint government, bam, millionaire. Houses all over, private institutions. The institution that made you, the place you came from, yeah, man. You live in shame and you have mansions all over here. Then you're talking about people dying. I saw one gold chain around one guy's head. I ran away from him. Look, we shouldn't pray for war in this country. I was part of the peace process throughout as chairman of the All Liberian Coalition Party. I led my party to 2 peace conferences in Abuja in the year 2000 and Accra, Ghana in 2003, where I signed the peace accord for my party. We know what we went through in those places. We were ashamed the way people talked to us. I remember in Accra, Ghana, when the time was running out, we were threatened by General Abubakar Abu Salami. If you people cannot resolve your issue here now, you've been here for 3 weeks, you have been here for 3 months. If you cannot resolve your issue now, we're going to put you on plane and send you back to your country, go and kill yourselves. I will find time one day to narrate the entire story on this show here. So we don't want to go back to war here. So nobody should make any threatening about a one person dies. Where were you when we fought a 14 years war here? And I'd like to say this last thing here. It is only cowardly people who talk like this. They pretend to be brave, but they are not. Cowardly people are scary people. Oh, yes. When you hear scary people talking about chaos, don't worry.
Okay,
Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Kudi. Gentlemen, before we open the lines briefly, let me ask all of you, from the way the IG spoke, the Inspector General, from his tone and the words he used, all of that, what does it show on the part of the police? Let me begin with you, Mr. Oliver Wilson.
Okay. So, like I said earlier on, I was just saying to you that the RG spoke like a professional. He was actually diplomatic here. And that is the first approach. And then, if the CDC cannot...
Mr. Wisa, your background, noise.
Okay, go right ahead quickly.
Yeah.
Mr. Wisa, go right ahead. Okay. I think he has muted. Let's hear from you, Dave. When he comes back, we'll join him. Dave, let's hear from you.
The RG was professional. He spoke very well. He spoke peace. He did not speak in a violent way. He was not belligerent. Oh, no, he was not. He spoke like a peaceful man. He said, I don't remember all of the words, but I think to put it in summary, your living is not weakness. It shows sign of respect and authority. It's not weakness. He did not use any belligerent form of words here. No, he was very peaceful. So I think it was in a mature way. And it's just a warning to all other political parties. Please leave people's.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Reb, let's hear from you. So we can open the lines quickly. Reb, let's hear from you.
All right. I think, I would like to place it in different context. Because you make mention of the police. The police in general, I would tell you, when you talk about police, they name the IG along with a code of officers and other people. But just the IG, what I heard, he's a professional person. He's a leader trying to make sure to mitigate the process. Because by right, he got no reason to go on the radio to announce to them that there was an invasion. He could have just gone in and carry on the invasion. But I think the method used by the IG is one of those best professional methods. I think the CDC should also support that. But I'm just appealing to them for time interval. Give it a space so that they can be able to relocate themselves. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, so before we open the lines, let me read this post. Breaking news. It says, former Solicitor General Sema Serena Cephas accuses former Justice Minister Frank Musa Deng of being behind the eviction of CDC from its headquarters.
So that's due to propaganda.
I'll take you calls quickly. 078 078 That's the number to call, or better still, 0886-540-987. Just few calls, and then we can call it up quick tonight. Good evening. Good evening. Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, this is Moba. Okay, I call from Tuesday.
Okay.
Okay, in the first stage is that people need to appreciate the government for this thing. The government did not move right away to move you guys from around. They say he said started it, and they allowed, they didn't say walk to say, well, no to drugs, and want to be free from it. So that appreciation, that starting must be appreciated. Okay? And then you can't wait to say, well, you have to establish out of these centers, you come in, you bring people in to psychiatrists and all these people to go through you. What time? Example like the Ebola, even the coronavirus. We will have to wait for all of these technicians to come about to solve this problem before. Let us have them place somewhere for now. While we're working towards getting a clinic care for them, taking care of them, their needs, and all those things before. People must appreciate the government for what they have done. All right? You can say the government should lead it, that people die. See the amount of people that die. Who knows that the drugs that internal or the drugs that were found in the container before, now they just release it. Okay? All of these things.
Okay.
Okay, and secondly, we need to take into consideration of people that are bringing the drugs in here. But these are process. It's not even. People must understand that. This is my contribution. Thank you.
Many thanks. Let's take another call on the line quickly. Good evening. Hello? Hello? Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Thank you, and good evening to your panelists. Sekou Fofana is money. I always call for Baki Faki at this hour. So let me say that in relation to the invasion of the CDC for that headquarters, as David Coty said, this is shared disgrace to with the Liberia. I suppose United Party, but this is very day in Chino. Like at least spend 12 years, they get even able to get party for United Party. Now CDC too come there, they lie to the partisan and they say they party got it. Now you will be renting someone place, then you start paying structure there, they think enough for you renting. Then now the party, the chairman Jangal on the spoon to Gesna and election on the government. But what's going on Moscow? Maybe that I seen the day yesterday, and they the one who began the invasion of the United Party yesterday. So that what today is happening to them, and they say that United Party behind it. Because for us, that one not get nothing to do. That one not get plus on the government, not get no minus on the government. So that one, but then they solve that problem. They lie, you say, Joe, we are one get that now. Even Joe, we are get all the immigrant resort at their business. Then they lead the people property. Someone says, I now want you to play that force. Why you will be there for? Then you go into that you need about the head. But now I leave your like business, but you'll go leave it. You're not get children. You go nana. And you cover and Kalasco were there saying that they come and do what for us. That meantime they got to do what for them to get party haircut. 2 years. You know, if you want to get party haircut or you're coming to our work, you need the party and you need the party.
Okay. Okay. You made your point. Okay, you made your point. Let's get another call on the line quickly. Good evening.
Good evening, Sabah.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, thank you. And my name is Martin Singletuba, and I've been found showed by radio. I want to say thank you and thanks to your studio guests and your panelists for discussing the issue. My contribution towards the various topics that were being discussed on the show. Firstly, I would love to tackle the just aspect. I think what is unfolding the government starts by getting people from the street or quote unquote disadvantaged youth. It was very laudable. And I don't think in the government they help us to just grab the people or our brothers and sisters from the street and just put them to one place called Johnsonville.
Okay.
But there was a plan in our making. And the aspect of the CDC headquarters that you people are discussing, I think as it stands, and I'm appealing to Honorable Robert, he can talk to the police from the CDC so that they can be able to at least just vacate from that particular area. Because if the property is not for you, you can't force it. I don't think there is any means that we can really sugarcoat this thing. If you are renting
I'm not from CDC.
I'm saying you can talk to your coordinator because I heard you saying that
I'm from the All Liberia Party. All Liberia Party. I'm not from CDC. I'm not a CDC.
You supported the CDC in the second round of the election, sir.
You were there? You saw me voting?
You popularly said it in the district.
No issue with that. Even if I get support to CDC, that's not the issue. Discuss.
No, okay, that's what I'm trying to allude to.
Man from your district.
Yeah, when you from my district, let me discuss. That's not the issue.
Okay, so.
Yeah, thank you. You made your point. Let's get another call on the line quickly. Good evening.
This is not
Good evening.
Let's
hear from you.
Still Liberians.
Okay.
You know, let me say thanks to your colleague for the conversation. For me, the judge issue, before you stop somebody for taking something, you have to discourage it. So for me, I want to commend the government by even discouraging our young people that are taking a particular success. Somebody say, oh, the government should have a plan. We agree. Every government will have a plan, and the government only going on with the plan. But before the government finish the plan, they will discourage our government. But Mr. John, let me say that about the CDC. You see, CDC can just make things big. To be honest with you, whatever you're renting, you should get it back to the man at that particular place. It is not for you. What is a big deal? I told somebody, you know the party, we live in one room. When my family say, move on that place, we move on to that place over there. We will land in one single room, and you apartment, one single room, and we defeat CDC. So what is it when CDC move on to that particular place? What will happen to them? That the whole country will be upside down because CDC can move on to one party here. But listen to my young brother, the representative the institute. I think it's about that CDC the second round. Maybe they hope somebody bailing out against CDC one. Because you said, I just come an example. The facility to move on, people they can move on. So just imagine when the 2 weeks talking about the come again, just get 2 weeks to your place, you see what happened to you. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's get another call on the line quickly. Good evening.
Sabo.
Yes, sir.
Sabo, good evening, and let me say good evening to all of your panelists. So about two things very quickly that I want to stress on. My name is Theophilus Toby. One, it has to do with this drug issue to fight against drug in our country and the effort that is being made by this government and by some, lawmakers of our country, like Senator Dillon. Look, so about the last time I responded to something on this your show when I think one journalist said politicians were leaving their officials of government were leaving their job and were taking on position of journalists. Look, you see, one of your panelists is always saying Senator Dillon is in error for graduating, our brothers and sisters who got up circles and take to rehabilitation camp. Look, Senator Dillon, what if you have all of the knowledge in how to rehabilitate people, Instead of you sitting in the United States of America and just coming to criticize this man who is trying his best, it will be enough for you to come down and share your idea, your knowledge with the institution so that they do the best. Because if you look at the numbers of persons that are that area have graduated, now over 200 people, and we can tell you that one of those persons was working at a bank, Echo Bank. Today, that person restored, and today the bank has recalled that particular person.
Okay.
So I don't know what kind of thing, but I want to end on the CDC issue, right? Look, the lawmaker, I can understand his sympathy, for the CDC. But my brother, it was not today or yesterday that the court ruled against the CDC. The police is only going to enforce the order of the court. The court ruled since 2 to 3 weeks ago. CDC knew that the court ruled. They should have been preparing today to move, because even the police even gave a 1 week ahead of that after the ruling of the court. When the court sent the communication to them to go and invade, the police gave time. So within that period, the CDC knew that they lost the case at the court. They were supposed to move. Now that the police and the RG have announced that tomorrow, like one of the panelists said, look, he's not even supposed to go on radio for a press conference. He's supposed to just go down there and take a move. So meet the fellas now, or a Carrasco will be a fellow. So meet the fellas in, for example,
okay,
I raped somebody. Yeah?
You made a point, fellas. We have to take other callers on the line quickly. Good evening. Good evening. Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you quickly.
Yeah, my name is Tomo F. Joseph, calling from Johnsonville, Plantation number 2, Moso County.
Okay, let's hear from you.
Yeah, Sabojo, thank you very much for your talking point, and the those are in the studio with you. Yeah, thank you very much. You know, sometimes we can sit on the other side to say CDC yesterday, they were in power. They had a lot of chances when Unity Party were in opposition. Something happened to them that they were in power. They clarified and they said that yes, Unity Party were in power for 12 years. They couldn't be able to carry their own party headquarters. Why they couldn't sit at that time to be able to think in their sense, say, yo, what happening to Unity Party today? Tomorrow, we don't want for it to happen to us. And they sat there until after they said yes, they couldn't be able to accumulate their own party headquarters. Today, we are seeing police RG telling them for them, law or the court have be able to rule and be able for them to live on the place. And they're trying to be able to foil the national police that they can't live on the place. They will be able to send a battle or fighting battle with the police. I think that it will not be the comforting for them. Let them be able to leave the party headquarters. That property is not for them. It's for the individual person.
Okay.
Let them be able to.
All right. It's for the individual person. Let's take Let's take the last call on the line. Time has called over first. Let's take the last caller quickly. Good evening.
Yes. Good evening, Mr. George. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Quickly.
Okay. And let me say good evening to all of your panelists. For the name, I'm Ambassador Divan Siapo, political person I come from CDC. Let me say this as my contribution towards the issue. You see, why the CDC is doing is a complete defiance and disrespect to the law. And you cannot go to court again, the court rule against you, then you continue to be what you is. What they are doing is very bad. So what happens is that it's a complete disadvantage. So if the government or if the police sit down there and allow CDC to continue to be to that place, then it will be complete disrespect to the police. So for me, a bad idea, 100% that tomorrow that the law should take, CDC should invade that whole place. Because what? If any attempt by the police to take any action, it will be complete mockery to the police. They will, but we know them. We know what they're doing on Facebook, what they do on the radio. They will be mocking at the police. So no one is above the law. So they should get away tomorrow and then let us do it. So what Table Carrasco and like they are doing, they are here making fun. Because why? They cannot go against the police. The police having everything to what? To resist them tomorrow. Because what happened is that what they are doing is our day yesterday, so they were going to be done to what? To resist the police. Seriously, we know that we knew what they did yesterday. To successfully in other legs. and we know what we're going to do. But today, you need a party supporter.
Okay, let's take this last caller, please. We're not going to take additional calls. Good evening.
Good evening, Sir George.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Thank you, and good evening to all of the panelists on the panel tonight. This is Kuiu William Covey in a previous conversation from District 3. Well, let me appreciate all of you. So, first, my first occupant will be drawn to the judge issue. Look, I heard the questions you asked, how do the Liberian people or the government raise the money? Look, and I heard people analysis, and most especially my honorable from my district saying that the government can use the social development fund. No. For me, I disagree with that. Because, mind you, all of these people who are in government, they take salary above 10,000 government buying vehicle, turn around and put gas inside, give them scratch card for their personal phone. Look, I think this coming budget year, because this budget year already elapsed, this coming budget year, the honorable can add on some of his police to the issue of all buying vehicles, let's say buying gasoline, right? Scratch card, all of those benefits. Let's scrape everything of us and give it to the DEA because we have family heads.
Okay.
And the state of bad, their family still making life. How about all that making 10,000? Why we can't fill our own car and put our own structure in our phone? I think we can take that initiative. So the issue about the CDC eviction, look, the government of, let's say the CDC is doing this as a deliberate attempt to do justice for private citizens. Look, the government, so what? The National Police invited CDC for a meeting. The first time they invited them to Central. They never went there. They took appeal to the court to delay justice. When they appeal, when they lost that appeal again, the court turned around and sent notice to the police inviting the police to back.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll shortly be leaving. We'll take just in a second reactions from our guests. But on Monday, we'll try to find someone from the other Ministry of Finance or an economist. You know, the Ministry of Finance released what they call the Consolidated Mid-Fiscal Year Review, fiscal year 2025. It means that they told us also how the economy has been doing from January 1 to June 30th, 2025 this year. So we really want to know, because it says some things in this fiscal year consolidated report. We need to know basically what is it that they are saying about our economy. You know, I read and I went down to the latter part. It says Liberia shows strong mid-year economic and fiscal performance in fiscal year 2025. They say we've shown a very strong performance, impressive performance. So it means that they will have to come, to explain to us when they talk about performance, that our economy had been projected, had grown, had performed. They need to come to tell us. So I've been knocking the doors of the Ministry of Finance to send out an economist or some deputies of the minister or the minister himself, because he has to do with the bread and butter. That's on Monday, if all goes well, or on Wednesday. Gentlemen, let me take a reaction from you guys, considering from based on what the callers have said. Let me take reaction from you all quickly. Mr. Oliver Wisa, let's begin with you just in a second.
Yes, Sober, once again, thank you, and thanks to all of those who were able to place in the calls. Just as the caller said, the issue of drugs is so serious, and we're not going to waste any time. We don't have that time to recruit all of the specialists in this world before we start the fight. Now, secondly, the issue of the CDC, to me, is a non-issue, honestly. The government, the court has ruled, they have to leave. The police have told them leave, they have to leave. To have a country, you must have laws that are respected. I mean, in UAE, in this country, my brother, if you see policemen alone, you are aware that yes, this is a policeman. In Liberia, we don't respect laws. Therefore, people can just come and make any comment. I don't even know why up to now Carrasco has not been arrested. I don't know why. I want to call on this government to remain proactive, professional, and do the Liberian people business. If anybody wants to disturb the peace, let the person be arrested and dealt with in accordance with the law. Let the law remain the law all the time, and we'll have a peaceful and a joyous Liberia.
Mr. Wilson, thank you very much. We've been trying to make some contacts with the CDC hierarchy. We tried, trying to call the chair. We couldn't get him. We called Mr. Alvin Wisa and the rest of them. We spoke with the former vice president briefly, but Mr. Wisa is now on the line, and I'm sure he's speaking from the Congress for Democratic Change headquarters. Mr. Wisa, welcome to the nighttime heat. Quickly.
Well, thank you ever so much, George. So I speak from the headquarters of the Congress for Democratic Change, where the chairman of our movement has officially communicated to the mass media on the process about the party headquarters and the illegal attempt being deployed by the government, an illegal invasion this morning, tomorrow, at the headquarters of the Congress for Democratic Change.
Okay. So this is what I want to hear from you. Would the CDC allow the police in tomorrow to evict you?
The Liberia National Police is not a party to this process. And they are doing this against the laws, against the Constitution, against the due process that are ongoing, as in the case of the court proceedings. So we think that the government is interfering using political manipulation to bend rule the judiciary. As you know, that the government has held some press conferences led by Deputy Minister Daniel Sandu and Mr. Jerolime Pia. So the police have received no court order to be instructed in terms of evicting the CDC.
So in another word, you are saying that the CDC will not allow the police in tomorrow to evict it from this headquarters.
Well, the action of the police will be very illegal. Will be very illegal, and it's not going to work because there are mass meetings. They are gathering tomorrow. We'll be having a very huge assembly here, talking to our partisans about our national due process, and also be talking to them about our county tour and other activities. So as far as we're concerned, that the police is as any conversation, there's no communication in our domain, in our possession that's just from the court, whether it's a notice or any legal instrument that's just from the court that the CDC will be evicted tomorrow. So
you're going. I come in, Mr. We said. So you're going to, if there's any force on the police, you're going to counter that. You're going to resist the police tomorrow.
Well, anything happening here, the police will be reprehensible. As you know, that the State Department has already documented the government that Gregory Common and his gangsters are engaged into blatant human rights violations. You saw the State Department report where Gregory Common is being indicted for being torturing Liberians. So if they are not concerned about the dangerous damaging State Department report, if they come here tomorrow, the consequences they will have that they will take responsibility. They will be responsible.
But you've been the CDC, Mr. Wisa following it. The CDC has been in court. And I'm sure the CDC might have seen the court's document that gave the police the authority to evict the CDC. Didn't you see that court's document as well?
But there's no document. The CDC has never received, as I speak to you, the CDC any notice from the court. That's what the chairman of our party just communicated through a broad media, and was clearly communicated that there's not a single notice, a single letter of eviction that has come from the court. the police director, Inspector Gregory Common, is acting from a political perspective, being instructed by the government to interfere in a judicial process that is between two citizens in our country. But suburb, both of that suburb, as I speak to you, suburb, there are few deployment around the police, around the CDC party headquarters, and we are getting intelligence. We are getting intelligence that the Inspector General Gregory Common is having. Government Command is right here around the old gas station at the headquarters of the Command for Democracy outside the perimeter, and they are in possession of 15 cartons of illegal drugs.
Okay. Many thanks. We really appreciate your time. We really appreciate your time, Mr. Alvin Wisa. Mr. Wisa, we really appreciate your time. We're not going to go contrary to the discussion. Not going to go off tangent. But gentlemen, let me hear from you, Mr. Representative Molwa, your parting comment quickly.
Yeah, I think let me just clarify three major areas before the parting comment are sober. I think first of all, yeah, I'll be very fast. First of all, someone make mention of our duty to be on the talk show talking, and we shouldn't be a journalist. Let me make this clear. We have three cardinal responsibilities. One of those is representation. Under representation is our ability in us to make sure our voice are loud so that the concern of our constituents can be met. Also, we are there to advocate for our people's needs. So whether on radio, whatsoever, it is our duty. Let's clear that. So the second one, the last one, the issue of partisan. This is my everyone, both parties. We should stop gassing the situation of political talk school. Please, everyone. I'm appealing to the IG. He's a professional person. He know what to do. He know what is good. I'm appealing to him to come down to create a time interval. With the time interval, whether 1 week, let CDC be given a week or two so that they can vacate. Not to force it so that we can go into another dispensation. I'm appealing to everyone because as a leader, our duty is to appeal and make sure we have conflict resolution. Please, thank you.
Okay, many thanks, Mr. David Cody. Quickly, just a few seconds.
We have a saying in Liberia that you cannot cry more than the bereaved family. I would not sit here and tell the IG to give CDC 1 day, 2 days, 2 months. No, the CDC is telling you that the police has no right to even go there to evict them. If the city, you know, when I'm beating my little child, and my child said, "Papa, I beg you, I will not do it again." Or if somebody is beating his child, and the child is saying, "Papa, leave me, I will not do it again," I will have to talk for that child and say, "Look, my brother, leave the child." He said he will not do it again. But if the child is fighting back, leave me, you can't do anything to me, then who am I to go and talk in that matter? Now, I just want to remind us about something. You know, when the thing is not in your shoes, you say all kinds of things. I remember during the crisis of the legislature, most people were accusing the executive. The president is pussyfooting. He's pussyfooting. He's not taking a firm step. The law is the law. At that time, you knew the law was the law.
We are starting the debate. Just go straight to the point, Chief.
No, that's the same thing. You are saying the law is the law is the law. The president must do something. Today, the law is not the law. You see? So all I'm saying here, my people, we don't want any more war here. We don't. These narratives can result a big issue.
Okay.
Please leave your place. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Cody. Well, before we go, let's try to reference and recognize some of our viewers quickly. Ophelia S. George from home, Ernest Johnson from Radio Gagama, Gantan from Muya M. Salif from Brownsville City, Henry Tito Jr. from Kowa, Benjamin Seal from Backleville, Grand Crukani, Lincoln P. Nakba from Ganta City, Colando King from the USA, Pastor Samuel Shan, Pastor Samuel Shan from Chicken Safari, Edward Sumo from Zozo Lofokani, Roland W. Toll from a Battery Factory Community in most wide. It is from West Point, no, from Westchester. Moses Momoru from the USA, and the rest of them we can call all. Thank you very much for viewing And thanks to all of our guests who've been on. Let me say thanks to my co-host, Josh Kennedy. Thank you very much for the week.
Thank you. I just want to tell Arvin quickly, stop what you're doing because it won't help you. Stop escalating this political issue because you can't stop the police. Let's face the reality.
Okay, Arvin, you heard it from the man. So when the key players in the government want to release some major reports, we need to call them so that they explain exactly what do they mean in their report. So on Monday, we'll be trying to knock the doors of the Minister of Finance, either the minister or his deputies, to come and explain to us this whole issue that they put on the social media that they released to the public concerning the consolidated made fiscal year review. That's the fiscal year 2025. They did a review of it and they spoke about the economy. It has to do with bread and butter, right? People will have to know more about some of the progress they've made and some of the challenges facing them as well. So we'll be knocking the doors of the Ministry of Finance to get out of one of the deputies or the minister here on Monday or Wednesday. I understand Monday's holiday, but who can still get out of the minister or his deputies on Monday if they are in town. Until then, on behalf of our producers, Sabo George is my name. Have a pleasant and a restful night.